Well, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
We're just now getting on the call to talk to each other.
Yeah, totally.
done
We haven't been on
prior-
here for
any-
like 20 minutes or so.
No prior setup involved. We have this down easily.
Oh yeah. Well, and I guess we're now joining the trend of online podcasting, literally, because I think it's the first thing we've done since the stay-at-home order and all of that crud has happened. So.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, we did. We did one. Was the Mario Kart? Did we do one of the audios, or was it only with?
We did we did one of the Mario Karts with audio. We did one.
We did one. But outside of that, that's it.
Yeah, but so yeah, we are talking about something a little bit different today, and well, Joseph,
Bringing the podcast in.
we are bringing the podcast in. I think we're gonna probably stick to podcasts for the time being, as long as this thing needs to happen. But yeah, Joseph, Call of Duty's full of cheaters.
Dirty cheaters.
And that's it for today's J podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jordan. As
We'll see you
always,
next
that's
time.
Joseph. See you next time. Bye.
And stay beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I hope nobody actually exited the video right there.
Just outro music. Boom.
Yeah.
Done. You know.
Yeah. But so that actually is a problem, though, Joseph. So, and I've pulled up some numbers on my phone. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. We're getting into it, but that's one thing that actually has been a problem. Call of Duty Warzone, I think it's safe to say it's been the most popular video game, maybe besides Animal Crossing, over the past, 2 months, I'd say.
It's been good. It's been solid. It's been popular. It's been popping.
Yeah, definitely by far right now the most popular battle royale. In fact, looking at numbers today, as of, let me pull this up. This is from TheVerge.com. This was published April 10th, and it is reported that Warzone now has more than 50 million players just 1 month after launch. It's been out for only a month now, and
That's crazy.
50 million total players. And that might not be at one time, but at least that's how many people have played and I think are still maybe actively playing Warzone right now, and that's insane, as you said.
That's the Call of Duty special right there. The ability to have such a consistent fan base, and then combine that with the battle royale genre, and they've hit some pay gold pay, whatever the phrase is.
I actually don't know what
they've hit pay dirt.
The mother load or the pay.
The mother load has
the
been
payload,
hit.
the gold mother, the mold guther, the mother gold.
The gold has been shimmied through the pan. They've hit it. They've got it.
Just like you got that expression. Well, yeah, but as Joseph was saying, they really have gotten huge success off of this game. One of the problems, and I think this is Joseph, you can weigh in on this. Basically, there's been a big cheating scandal with Call of Duty Warzone, people cheating and hacking, and one of the problems, I think one of the things causing this is the fact that it is cross-play, which is basically, if Joseph has Warzone, if I had Warzone, I don't have it. I have an Xbox, and Joseph is a PC boy. Aside from having a Switch as well, and I think a PS4.
I have a PS4 now. I do, but for most gaming, it's PC.
Yeah, for most gaming it is PC, and for most gaming for me it's Xbox. But we could play against each other in Warzone if I had it. It's crossplay. PC can play against console, vice versa.
Yeah, we can team up. We can do any of that.
Yeah. So, and one of the things going on right now is a lot of people, if you look at Call of Duty Warzone, if you look it up online or go on the Microsoft store and look at it, does not have very good reviews. Only got about 3.5 stars, and you're thinking, why is the game so popular? Have really mediocre ratings, because people are ticked right now at this crossplay stuff because of PC players. And again, this is all supposed. This is not. I don't know how much of a confirmed statement this is, but PC players are hacking, cheating, and making the game really hard for console players. Now, I am a pretty average console player. I don't consider myself, if there's like an A through F rating, with there being like A plus all the way to F minus as far as how are you at an FPS on a console. That's first person shooter, not frames per second. Because I thought frames per second when I said it out loud.
Okay, Mr. Editor.
I'm sorry. Goes through my head daily. I can't help it.
Right.
But I'd maybe give myself like a B or a B minus. I don't consider myself anywhere close to the best people at shooters on consoles, but I'm not trash either. Like, I'm decent. But I know that, Joseph, you were talking to me about how, shooters on a PC with a mouse and a keyboard, not necessarily easier, but you can be better at it than you could if you were on a console.
This is where I think there's sort of two issues, or not issues, but 2 points with this whole hack or whatever thing.
Yeah.
One being, yes, people do hack in a PC game. It is something that is not good and should be taken care of and all of that. I personally have not experienced it yet in Warzone, in my playing. That's anecdotal, but I haven't really seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But to a console player, seeing it even once could feel very bad, because it's practically impossible to... I mean, I don't want to say it's impossible to hack a console game, but there's a lot more involved. I feel like it's just because it's a separate console than your actual PC. I feel like it's kind of not as common.
For the time it would probably take to do that, you probably could have played at least several matches.
It takes,
the workaround might not be worth the result.
Right, and so there's that side, that any hacking seems more important to console players. Well, not important, because it's PC people hate hackers too. But if they see it once, it's like, wow, what is going on?
Yeah, because they're not used to it.
Right, and PC players aren't either, but it's at least a possibility of happening every once in a blue moon, and you just kind of report them and it doesn't happen again. But the other side, I was going to say, is that there's legitimate, every once in a while there's a hacker, but the other side is that a console player, if all they play is consoles, they will see a PC player play the game, and it will look unnatural to them. Because the entire methodology of how you look, how you aim, is completely different from a console.
Now, you aim and shoot with the click, right? With the mouse.
Yeah, you use the click. Yes,
yeah.
You do use the click.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just do the clicky point thing.
Yeah, to left click. Yeah, so but like that's how you aim in PC. You essentially, your gun is your mouse. Where your mouse goes, your barrel goes as well, and where you click is where a bullet goes as well.
Correct.
Okay, so
the thing with that is that with a console, it's a thumbstick. So your movement will always look like this. You will be evenly panning around. You will be spinning. You can only spin at like a certain click or a certain speed, whatever. Whereas with a mouse and keyboard, it looks much more realistic, honestly, to how an actual person would be with a gun, where they're checking, they're popping point to point, they're looking at something, they're flicking back and forth.
Yeah.
Which isn't really possible on a console, because you can only move at certain...
Unless your sensitivity is through the roof, and then
in which case you can't aim.
Yeah, that just gets hard to control, and you look like you're spastic, because you're... like we did with like Cluster Truck that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what it turns into. So, essentially, from what I'm hearing there, and again, I've never played a shooter... Actually, wrong. I played that really dumb, like, Crunker.io. That like
Crunker.io. Oh, I know the IO titles.
Yeah,
but like
Crunker.io. It's like
what's
this.
that?
I think it's called Crunker.io. I might be wrong. Somebody correct me, but it is a online like shooter game, and you're essentially you're shaped like a Minecraft character, and you just run around and shoot, and like so.
The IO series is like there's like Gario, there's
Yeah.
that kind of thing, but Crunker is the shooter version. That's fun. That's fun.
It's a little kind of like a cheap little Call of Duty shooter kind of thing, and so it's pretty fun, and that kind of gave me a taste of PC because it really was like if I move my mouse
because you're using your mouse and all that.
Yeah, I move my mouse here, that's where my thing was going. If I move my mouse here, that's where my thing. So like in that sense, I can see how I look at. And I try to think of this cheating thing and we'll get into the numbers of how many cheaters have been banned in a minute, but I look at myself versus like some really good streamers. Okay. For instance, and again, like I've been watching a lot more game streaming lately just because we've had a little bit more time at home. I want to watch some new stuff. I look at players like Shroud, somebody like Shroud.
Very popular.
Okay. Who's, some of his, you see some of the kills that he does, and it's like his aim's like ungodly. Like it's like it shouldn't. It doesn't look real what he's doing. He's so good that it looks like he's hacking. So if I'm a console player and I go up against that, first of all, I got no chance. Second of all, I don't usually get killed in a game and scream hack again because I'm not the best. Now, if I was like really, really, really good, yeah, I might. But I know for a fact, like, if somebody kills me, it's probably fair because I'm one of those people. I'm not the best at shooters, but I'm okay. And so usually when I go up against somebody, if it's on console, at least I know I've got as good a chance of killing them as they have of killing me. Another thing why even though I don't play Modern Warfare anymore, the online experience was still really balanced. If you were like a level 20 and you were going to get somebody who was level 80, you both had it was a fair fight, when that wasn't really the thing in some other Call of Duty games, but I won't get into that. But it's just I could see how there's some PC players out there I know that are so good that it might, to a console player who's used to playing against console players, might think it's hacking. So that's where I want to transition into the numbers, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is that there's numbers to back it up, but I think the extremity of how much people are crying wolf over it is it's a symptom of the greater, I won't say problem, because I honestly don't think crossplay is inherently a problem in this case.
It was wanted from what I've been reading. It was actually asked for.
In certain ways, yes. The thing with the crossplay with Battle Royale is that you're right. The experience of playing on a mouse and keyboard has a higher level of precision than playing with a controller. That being said, I think Battle Royale is a genre that makes it fine, because unlike a deathmatch scenario in Modern Warfare where you're just always in the same spot and just going, and it's the same 8 people over and over, there's so much variance in Battle Royale, and there's that. Yes, it might not be ideal. Excuse me, goodness.
You're good.
It might not be ideal that some people have more precision than others, but because you have 150 people with making 50 teams, or however, depending on the system you're doing, 75 teams, 40 teams, whatever. Because there's that many people, it makes that little difference of the precision in fights not as big a deal in my mind.
Yeah.
And I think it makes crossplay welcome. I've been able to play with some friends that normally play on PlayStation.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. But the downside is definitely that you get those moments where you're like, how did he do that? And you realize, if you're a console player, it's like, oh, I wouldn't have been capable of doing that, but he was, because he had a mouse.
Yeah. And so I don't necessarily want to say that console players are at a disadvantage, but it's almost like they kind of are in this situation, and I don't think that's slightly on purpose. But it's good.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, and again, like, we haven't really played a lot of shooter games against each other, but
not against each other.
I'm sure if we got into like a 1v1 match or something, and you would probably come out on top more often than not, because you are
if we were playing on a PC, like if I was using a mouse and keyboard, since you're not as familiar with that, or even if you're using a controller, I would have a chance to, for sure. Yeah, I would have I don't know about actual skill level, but like my pure ability to react would be higher than yours.
Yeah,
not because of my reaction time, but because of my mouse, the speed I can look at things.
Yeah, and you've got experience in that realm, and I'm saying, like, I'm not saying if we were both PC versus PC, and not both console versus console. I'm talking if I was on console, you were on PC.
Right.
You would have that advantage. So, but I'd say, I don't know what the majority is. There might be those numbers somewhere. What the majority is of people playing Warzone, whether it's console or PC. I want to say it's console, because Call of Duty has always been the Xbox or the PlayStation game. People play Call of Duty on their PC, but I feel like it has always been a majority. The majority of people who have played Call of Duty have always been on console, and I think that's safe to say, because PC, you're branching out. People don't buy a PC to play a first-person shooter. They buy a PC to play stuff like Overwatch and stuff like League of Legends,
which is a first-person shooter.
Yeah, it is a first-person, but it's something different
I get what
like
you're saying.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not Halo and not Call of Duty, the two most popular FPSs of all time, right? Mm-hmm. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the only thing you're playing on a PC is Call of Duty Warzone, that's kind of a waste, But if you're
right, yes.
But like, those games they're really originally made for consoles.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, they are console games at heart.
Yeah.
That have developed very well, and like with PC and all that, they've always been out on PC too and all that, but the popularity of them came from being console. Yes.
For sure, yeah, for sure. So, and I think crossplay is really, really cool. I want to eventually play Warzone, and maybe I would have a little bit more knowledge on this whole thing if I had played it. I actually played really heavily into the multiplayer in Modern Warfare, kind of got bored, uninstalled the game, and I haven't touched it since. And I would just have to reinstall the game to play Warzone. So I don't know if I ever will get to that point. But you said something, and we were talking. We've been texting about this over the past couple of days, talking about recording this and talking about, doing this podcast, and just what's going on in Warzone right now. And you had this term. I'm not throwing you under the bus here, but you had this term because I loved it. I thought it was great. It was hilarious. Sus salt. And I was like,
did I type that? Did I?
I'm pretty sure you did. Because
I've got to look this up now. It sounds like something I typed. Don't get me wrong.
I think you said, it sounds like a little bit of sus salt to me, or something like that. And which I kind of agree with, because, and there's some numbers here to back this up, and I did some calculation today as well. So
okay,
you did say this because I responded to the to the text. So, and you can, I don't know if you're gonna keep looking for it. But so this was posted on Activision's games blog, blog.activision.com, and it was cheaters not welcomed in Call of Duty Warzone. Here's what we're doing about it, and this was updated on April 14th, 2020. Basically talking about there's no place for cheating in games. Warzone has zero tolerance for cheaters. Here's what we're doing about it. We take all forms of cheating very seriously, maintaining a level of level and fair playing field for everyone is among our highest priorities. This is an area we have been working on heavily, but it isn't always something we discuss publicly. We have been enforcing account bans since day one of Warzone's release. To date, which was April 13th, we issued more than 70,000 permabans worldwide. We employ a number of programs in order to combat both cheaters and cheat providers. Security teams monitor 24/7 to investigate data and identify potential infractions. The teams review all possible cheats and hacks. This includes identifying uses of aimbots, wall hacks, and more. We're working to improve our in-game system for reporting potential cheating. Plans are underway to streamline the UI for a more seamless reporting experience. For all reports that are received in-game, they're both analyzed and filtered based on key data. Once investigations are complete, we will continue to work as quickly as possible to ban. Moving forward, we'll aim to provide a regular count on the latest number of ban issues as needed. For more information, visit us, blah, 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 this thing, that thing. Thank you. So, hey, 70,000 people. It's a lot of people, right?
It's both so much and so little at the same time.
Yes.
When you consider, but the thing is, it's the question of, that's 70,000 bands that they are doing stuff, and the difference, the thing is, and this is again going to sound kind of, there should not be any hackers in a game. They should be able to get all of them.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that Warzone is not having a hacking problem like other titles in the past.
But it's been blown up like that. Has it not? Like it really has. I mean, like
it is. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it's not out there, because it definitely. I guarantee you, people have had hackers in games.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, compared to, and this is an extreme example. Don't get me wrong, but when you compare Warzone to one of the previous battle royales, PlayerUnknown, the PUBG.
You've told me stories, bro.
PUBG was a travesty. I actually stopped playing that game in large part because of hackers. It was that bad.
PUBG Mobile actually, I think worked better than original PUBG.
Probably, let's be honest. But like, that is a game that was defined by hacking. Warzone is not there.
Yeah.
It is something that should be addressed if it's an issue, and it sounds like they are addressing. But PUBG was literally, every time you loaded into a match, you didn't know if you were just going to die. Because, well, one, it was buggy as all get out. But then two, you get past the bugs, once every several matches, like once every 7-8 matches, I feel like I would just die. And then I would see, and it was like somebody across the map, literally across the Battle Royale map, that was just shooting, and it killed everybody. Like, I don't know why people think that's fun. I don't know why people like that.
I mean, I think people like it because they know other people hate it. That's a thing. That is a thing. If you are somebody who has I'm going to say it right now on here. If you're somebody who has a high opinion of things that nobody else likes, you're an idiot. Okay? You're not going to agree with everybody, but like I knew a guy in high school, he just disagreed with everybody just because he wanted to, and he liked having that unpopular opinion. You're stupid if you actually think that's fun to do. Anyway,
Mark, you're stupid. No, whoever your high school person. No. What if his name actually was Mark?
No, it was actually not Mark. Thankfully, that would have been so funny if you got that name right. I won't say his name out of respect. It's not like he's watching this. So
it's good. It's good.
But
Joseph? Wait.
No, of course not. My boy never cheats. Never cheats. But if you ever find a way to hack FIFA, I don't know what you're gonna do in that game. There's no telling. Oh.
You just see I just take a shot, and like you just see the ball just arc, and then suddenly go just do this random left turn and go in the goal.
It's a regular match, but you have all the mystery ball stats on.
Only for my players.
Only for your players, yeah. Joseph's next project. Anyway, but yeah, so like
this is how we win.
So yeah, but you know, it seems okay. 70,000 people. It's like okay, yeah, that's a lot of people. Okay, that's probably like, sorry, that's probably like for comparison, AT&T Stadium in Texas holds about 80,000. So you've got a pretty much a packed out stadium, probably average attendance at a Dallas Cowboys game that has been banned from Call of Duty Warzone. That's such a small number compared to 50 million. And if you if you take 70,000 and divide it by 50 million, that is 0.0014. That's close as you can get to nobody. Okay, so
right, exactly.
So like and people were saying, okay, great, you banned 70,000 people. That is not even a drop. That's barely a drop in the pool. That is Warzone right now. You got 50 million people playing. You don't even ban 100,000. So.
And that's where I think the biggest issue lies, is that if they want to show that they're taking the steps needed to, they can't rely on numbers.
Yeah.
Because they need to be able to show the process or something. Because the numbers aren't going to ever look good. Because if you're banning a gazillion in accounts, it looks like everybody's hacking. There you go, bless you, sir. But but if you show no bans, and it looks like you're letting everybody get away with hacking.
Yeah, and it's amazing how much this is blown out of proportion, because the last couple of weeks, you Google Call of Duty Warzone, something about cheating is going to come up. I just Googled Call of Duty Warzone today, and there was an article about all the cheaters playing together or something like that. Like it was, a lot of cheating has just been overshadowing this, when really it's not. It's hardly a problem. And again, they said at least 70,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was about a week and a half ago. So it obviously, there's probably, if they're really on this, like they say, there's probably a couple more thousand cheaters that have been taken out of this game. But, and they have, which is, I was wondering, how are they monitoring this? So they really have, like, if there's a report for cheating, they have somebody go in and check. And they're like, okay, looks like they got an aimbot. Oh, okay, looks like there's a wall hack there. But first of all, Joseph, explain to me what a wall hack is, real quick.
Wall hack, you essentially, you quite literally see through walls. You get, typically it shows a outline on your screen of players.
Yeah.
Through walls. Depends on the wall
gotcha.
hack, whatever.
Okay.
It's not like I use them, but yeah.
There is a kill type in Call of Duty called a wall bang. I just want to point that out. If you, and it's kind of a luck thing, right? Like, if it happens most of the time, if you've maybe hit somebody and they're running behind cover, and you pepper them a little bit more when they're behind cover, you usually get wall bang. Okay, so you can kill somebody through walls, which is accurate for real guns. Like if
right,
if
I don't know if that's a thing in Warzone or not, but yeah, I know it's a thing in some of the Call of Duty titles.
Well, it's not like a thing that pops up on your screen. Well, it's the same kind of yellow text that pops up on your screen, like double kill, triple kill.
Yeah, no, this is not that at all.
Okay,
this is like that at all. This is literally, if you are just running through a building, you're just looking around, whatever, you see an outline of somebody that's 15 meters away behind two walls. You can see their outline because they're within a radius of you.
Yeah. Got you. Okay.
That's what wall hacking.
Okay, so because I figured that's what it was, because I've seen footage of people that have hacked, because there's this thing called spectating. So that's how people who get killed by these hackers just watch these hackers and record everything that's on their screen, send that to Activision, and Activision gets on it. But I'm wondering, and I guess Activision really does seem like they're on top of this and trying to be on top of it. But it's just like, I wonder how many people are getting reported that somebody's like, whoa, hey, he didn't kill me. that's a hack. And they send it into Activision, and turns out it was just a dude who was really fire at Warzone on the PC. You know,
right.
like, I'm just wondering how much...
Or like a little thing would be, somebody, you're coming up behind a guy and they just 180 and kill you instantly. It's like, how did he know I was coming up? Well, unlike playing on a TV, if you're using high quality surround sound headphones,
audio,
you can hear behind you.
Audio, yeah.
And you can hear that it's behind you.
Yeah, that was
stuff like that people don't always understand.
I was just scrolling through Facebook, and again, I've been watching a lot of streaming lately, and you get into a video feed on Facebook, you just watch for hours. So in one of those little scrolls, whether it was me refusing to get out of bed in the morning or me chilling on the toilet or something, I don't know. But, like, I came across a Dr. Disrespect video of him just raging at PUBG. And it was one of those things where it was just all quiet. It's all quiet. He's crouched. He's got a gun. He gets flattened by an SUV. And he's like, where's the audio? Where is that?
Right.
A Jeep just ran me over. I didn't hear anything. Didn't hear an engine. Like, that's so... And again, but he's a PC guy.
Mm-hmm.
So... That, I think, again, like, you watch some of these PC players that are just so good. I'm wondering, like, what's stopping them from being hacked? And I'm not trying to make this, like, so dramatic, but, like, I feel like recently, you go, yeah, I love Warzone. Oh, really? What are you Xbox, PlayStation? Oh, I'm on PC. And they go, all right, that's cool. I'm gonna snap your neck. It's like it sadly, I feel like, kind of has put a sour taste in when in the
it's
mouth.
Just brought to the forefront the long-standing battle between console and PC gamers,
and they can fight it out in a war zone, and that's why it's called Warzone, and it's the perfect place.
It's just brought to a head the fact that at the end of the day, consoles are better for certain kinds of games, but FPS is not one of them.
Yeah, so...
It's fun to play an FPS on a controller. It is not as good. Just literally, you cannot control as well. And when it's a game about two people fighting each other, I'm sure it feels bad to feel like you lost because you didn't have the better controller layout. But it's one of those where you're kind of stuck in that if you want to have crossplay, you kind of got to commit to it or don't. You know what I mean? Like,
crossplay was celebrated from what I hear with this game. People were like, crossplay. It's like, oh, sweet. I can play with a buddy of mine. Oh,
exactly. You either get the benefits or you don't. Because if you make people are talking about making crossplay voluntary, and you can definitely do that. The question will be at that point. And this is the thing where I'm surprised they haven't yet, because they have the player base. They've established they have the player base. They could make crossplay voluntary.
They have.
And it is voluntary now? Because I couldn't find earlier.
From what I could tell, and this was just reading some reviews, people, and this is kind of that little gray area, you can turn off crossplay. You can. From what I see on consoles, you can turn off crossplay. It might not be an option on PC, which is interesting. But I know on console you can turn off crossplay. But then, and again, this is the reviews I'm reading, again, crossplay was celebrated when this came out, and now there's a demand for crossplay to be taken out of it entirely, which isn't fair to the PC players at all. And,
it's just a matter of, like, if you have the two separate things, you have to deal with two separate queue systems, and it creates extra.
It does.
All of that, and it's one of those where, as long as you have the player base to support having two separate server types of crossplay and not crossplay, it's great. And I don't think Warzone will ever have that problem. But
they might, because what I'm reading,
we'll see.
What I'm reading is, oh, okay, so looks like, yeah, I turned off crossplay. Now I have a harder time finding a match because so many people are playing this game, but there's still tons of there. Yeah. You could, there's millions of people. So you take 50 million and say, okay, you've got 20
You
million.
got to regionalize it.
Yeah, you've got like
then...
15 million playing on Xbox, 50 million playing on, PS4. And then the other 20 million are playing on PC. You take away crossplay, and all of a sudden your window goes from this to this, and that's
you've halved your base, and then when you regionalize it, of course, that if you do any sort of typically it's best if countries play with each other just server wise.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You start to, and the nice thing, the pro of a battle royale is that you don't really have to do a matchmaking system, because it's just throwing 150 people into a pot. So you don't have to say, oh, this person's really good, we shouldn't put them in with this.
It's just server after server after server.
Yeah, but the downside is that you have to fill the server with 150 people as compared to 12.
Exactly. So that turning off that crossplay, from what I've read from people, is you can't find a match as quickly. It's like, I remember the last Call of Duty game I played before Modern Warfare was Call of Duty World War II. Not very popular one with the big fans. I actually enjoyed it just because I like learning about World War II. It's just, okay, a lot of people died, I get it, but it's a cool time period in history, okay? I'm sorry, but it's just like...
Good, glad we remembered that about World War II. People died.
Yeah, a lot of people died.
Thank you.
But, I've always liked studying World War II and learning about it and like history and all that stuff.
For sure.
I remember when Black Ops 4 was released, which was Call of Duty's first go-around at Battle Royale. That came out, and you used to be able to load into a match in World War II in no time. It didn't take any time at all. You take 3/4 of the people that were playing that game and throw them into Black Ops 4, and suddenly the number of people playing World War II goes from this to this. Right. And I had such a hard time finding a match. I uninstalled and I stopped playing because I would be sitting there for 5 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time, but when that's a loading screen in a game trying to find a match, that's eternity, right? So
if it's not a competitive match, then that kind of wait time feels terrible.
Yeah. So, but this was just a regular team deathmatch. Just spinning and spinning and spinning, looking for server. I would find one, and then I would disconnect from it because it was trying to put me to another one, and it just got to where it wasn't even fun to be in the lobby anymore. So, that's...
So if they want to avoid that in Warzone, it's the quiz. Are they going to have to keep all the crossplay together? That's the question at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a thing, and I think it may have been blown out a little out of proportion, but this game is very important to people right now because it's a way for people to connect. We're all stuck in our homes. You see NBA players, teaming up with online streamers and other athletes and major figures going into this game. You want to make it fun for everybody, and there's always going to be a couple people to ruin the show. Again, so just again for perspective, okay, you've got the class of 25 people, and one person keeps talking out of turn, and one person gets the whole class in trouble. You got 50 million people, and at least 70,000 of them are getting the class in trouble and acting out of hand.
Here's the thing. You said, what was the percentage? It was like 0.00 whatever percent?
0.0014%.
0.001. So the thing about Battle Royale is that there's 150 people in a queue, right? So if 0.5% of all players, which is, I would say a high amount for hacking, because hacking is not going to be 0.5% of players. But if 0.5% of players are a hacker, that means 1 every 2 games you would have one hacker in the game.
Yeah.
But if 0.5%, if 0.001 and 0.001 is 1% of 1%. So it's
because you've got the first decimal place is 10, second is 100, third is the thousandth.
Right. So it's a thousandth. So at that point, it's a thousandth.
And a thousandth of a percent. That is so
it's
small.
It's 0.1 of the. It's right. And it's one of those where, like, if you double that, then if it's just 0.1% of people, that are hacking, then the 0.01 is like 1%.
Yeah.
And so it's like, just the real question is just what the actual number is at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if there's so people,
we'll find out soon enough. I think.
I think so too. They're continuing to crack down on this, and it really is just thinking like, first of all, be friendly to your fellow PC players, because I know personally a great PC player in Joseph Vuk. He's not a hacker.
Oh, hi, that's me.
He's not a hacker. He's a good guy.
No,
He's going to play fair. He's not one of the 1,000th of a percentage of people that play Warzone and hack. So, but I think it's just there needs to be understanding from both sides. Obviously, from PC to, play fair. Still be good and still kick butt, but play fair. And for consoles, look, you're going into this with one arm tied behind your back if you're playing against PC players, and that needs to be understood as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, it's a question of remember if something happens that when you're looking at a spectator or whatever, remember that people aren't always playing the same way you are.
Yeah.
And if you do come across a hacker, yeah, do your part and report them and all that. And as long as what Activision's response needs to show, and I think it's showing, we'll see as more unfolds or whatever, I think we'll see stronger. If they are responding to reports, then things should be working out in the end. If they are responding and banning based off of reports in a quick fashion, which you could argue maybe they could be quicker, but they seem to be trying to.
Yeah.
And I'm not an Activision defender by any means. Oh my gosh.
No, you're not.
But they seem to be trying.
Yeah, no, and I think there is, as you said, there's effort there. I just think there needs
if they can keep that up and finish and make sure to maintain and improve upon that, I think it'll be fine, because the reporting, as long as they have a good reporting system in place, and people are willing to not cry wolf, it makes things a lot easier to spot the real hackers.
It's that understanding from both sides, really, from all ends, that needs to meet in order for it to run the way it needs to. So, well, Joseph, I think that about wraps things up for today, bud. Had fun.
This is interesting. We haven't done a video before for
this is for
online talk, so it's fun.
This is definitely a first for both of us in this.
It's a grand experiment.
Absolutely. So anyway, game responsively, and don't be a jerk and hack.
Stay safe, all that stuff. We're getting through. We're coming upon the final half of the quarantine, I want to say. Not the final bit, but the final half.
Yeah, I think we're
halfway there is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we're slowly getting we're almost at the top of that curve where we'll see the sunshine over the hill, so.
We'll see. We'll see. We got the addition to May 8th. That's a stay at home in North Carolina, but that's still halfway there, over halfway there, if that stays as the final thing. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see how it plays out.
Yep.
Look forward to make more stuff with you, sir.
Absolutely, man.
See y'all later.
See ya.